So please open our Bible on 1 Samuel chapter 3. Last week we discussed about the journey to Jericho. Now we're going to skip some Judges story. Ito tayo sa story about kay Samuel naman. Kay Samuel. On your notes, we have the title of our lesson tonight is the journey to Shiloh. So are you then in 1 Samuel chapter 3? Let us read all together. Let us stand up. And from verses 1 to 13. Yeah, let us read verses 1 to 13. Nandun po ba kayo? Nandun kayo, let us read together. Verse 1, and the child Samuel, let's read together. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli. And the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision.
And it came to pass at that time, when Eli was laid down in his place, and his eyes began to watch him, and to look at the sea. And here the Lamb of God went out in the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was, and Samuel was laid down to sleep. And the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, Here am I. And he ran unto Eli, and said, Here am I, for thou callest me. And he said, I call you not, lie down again. And he ran and lay down. And the Lord called yet again Samuel, and Samuel arose and went to Eli, and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And he answered, I called not my son, lie down again. Now Samuel did not yet know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time, and he arose and went to Eli, and said, Here am I, for thou didst call me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Therefore Eli said to Samuel, Go lie down, and it shall be, if he call me, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth. So Samuel went and lay down in his place. And the Lord came and stood, and called as the other times, Samuel, Samuel. And Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heareth. And the Lord said to Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel, and which both the ears of everyone that heareth it shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all things that I have spoken concerning his house. When I hear him, I will also make an end. For I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and his strength not.
Salamat po sa pagbabasa ng pangsipan. Let us pray. Dear Father, thank you once again for this opportunity to listen again to your instruction, to your word. We pray, O Lord, that you bless every message that we come out today. Lord, this we pray in this mighty name. Amen. So, our subject tonight is about journey to Shiloh. If you have your map in your back on your Bible, in your side reader. So, Shiloh was here in sa land of land of Canaan, no? Remember the story will be about Samuel, and remember the parents of Samuel is Elkanah and Hannah. So they came from Ramah, no? And then they go to Shiloh. Tama ba Shiloh? Shiloh. Kasi nag-check ako ng nung pronunciation dun sa audio. Okay pa sila?
Shiloh na lang pala.
Okay. So, Shiloh. Meron yung Shiloh. Ba sabi? The Shiloh, no? So, sa map natin sa the land of Canaan. So, kung makikita nyo dyan, and then nakatira sila doon sa land of Ramah. So the story was about the journey to Shiloh. So, the main character would be Samuel. Samuel. Wala si Samuel sa akin. Siguro sa
I'm here.
ay! Samuel! Ayun, wala.
Lay down.
But Samuel was always sitting here. Paminan sa akin.
Wala siya.
Classical. Anyway, so let us study about the story about Samuel. No? So, sorry. Wait. So, the story about, nakita na dito, in the story of Samuel, dito sa chapter 3, no? Remember that Remember Elkanah, he had two wives. One is Hannah and then Penina. So remember that Penina was blessed with a lot of children, you know, but Hannah doesn't bless him with children, no? So hindi siya binilis ng Panginoon. But she always go to Shiloh, no? Where is the tabernacle? No? Nandun kasi yung tabernacle. So nagpupunta sila mag-asawa doon, that's to worship the Lord. And then that is the time where Hannah take a vow, no? Doon siya nag-take a vow na kung bibigyan siya ng anak, no? Kung bibigyan siya ng anak, he will give to the Lord. He will give it to the Lord and serve to the tabernacle, no? So makikita natin dito also, if you try to read dun sa 1 Samuel chapter 1 verse 11, mayroon si dito story about Hannah, no? Sabi nga dito, and she vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou wilt indeed look unto affliction of thy handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will thou thy handmaid made a child, then I will give him unto thee, Lord of the days, and there shall be no razor upon his head. No, Mike. So here we can see here that that si Hannah, no, Hannah fulfilled his promise, no. He fulfilled his promise and his vow to the Lord. No? That is very important, no, that we fulfill our promise. What the Bible said in Ecclesiastes chapter 5. Nga natin, Ecclesiastes chapter 5. About our vows, no. Sa Ecclesiastes chapter 5, verse 4, no. Can you listen muna, chapter 5, verse 4, muna up to 6. Basa nga. Tungkol sa mga vows. Basa.
When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it, for he hath no pleasure in fools.
Right.
Pay that which thou hast vowed. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow, than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel, that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice, and destroy the works of thy hands?
So makikita natin dito that the importance of our vow to the Lord. No? Meron tayong mga promise sa Panginoon. We have a vow to the Lord. We have pleading something. Meron tayong mga prayers and requests. Sometimes, no, meron tayong mga vow ng freedom in the promise. But we should be fulfilled because the Lord said, God had no pleasure dun sa hindi nagpupulfill ng kanyang vow. So if we have a promise to the Lord, commitment to Panginoon, we should do it, no? Sometimes, at the end of the day, sabi nga rito sa pag hindi natin, wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands, no? Sometimes we're asking about our, Lord, pag binigyan mo ako ng trabaho, magsisilbi ako, I will work like this, no? I will work like this. At the end of the day, pag nandun ka na hindi mo gagawin, at the end of the day, the Lord will destroy your job, no? It will become a curse to you. So, ganoon dito, we can learn about the life of Hannah, also the mother of Samuel, no? We can see that when God gave Hannah a son, she kept her promise. She gave Samuel back to the Lord to serve him in the tabernacle. So, Hannah displayed a true act of surrender in giving Samuel to the Lord. So, when we fulfill our promise, yung mga ginanong lesson nito, is also an act of surrendering, no? Surrendering to the Lord, and also display of obedience to the Lord, no? That's why, through his life, Samuel demonstrated great surrender by serving God in Israel, no? We too should be willing to surrender all to God. So, ganoon din sa ating din to us, when we serving the Lord, we should give all, no? All to the Lord. Our eyes, our hand, our body, our soul, spirit, no? That's why there's a lot of verses sa Bible ginagamit ng mga, they use the metaphor in the hands, right? Sa yung katulad ng ating mga dila, no? So we should also give it to the Lord. Just like in Psalm 33 verse 13, 34:13, keep thy tongue from evil and thy lips from speaking guile, no? So meron gano'n, no? So meron din sa ating sa mga kamay, even our hands, no? We should give glory to the Lord, serving the Lord, no? In Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 10, whatsoever thy hand findeth, do it with thy might. So you can see here that when we serve the Lord, we should give all. Just like Hannah, we should give all to the Lord. No? He fulfilled his promise, and then he gave his promise to the Lord. Tinupad niya yan. Ibig sabihin, that is a true act of serving to the Lord. No? Lahat-lahat yan, anak niya yan. Hindi isa. So he gave it to the Lord. No? So ganun din sa atin, we should serve the Lord. No? So let God have every part of you, your heart and your dearest possession. No? So we can see also that Samuel grew, no, was a great use of God throughout his life. No? During the period of Judges, the tabernacle was in Shiloh. There God raised up a man who would stand for him amidst the religious and political corruption of his day, during a time when the people of God strayed, Samuel stood. No? So we can see that Samuel, when he was in the tabernacle, Samuel grew, no? Understanding what the God's will for him. No? So, in this story, we can learn how he lived in the Shiloh, in tabernacle, no? Shiloh. His journey going to the Shiloh and serving the Lord inside the tabernacle. Makikita natin mga lessons dito na makikita natin. Also, we can see also earlier na nakita niyo naman si Hannah, his mother, is also a godly woman. No? Isipin niyo, he came from Ramah going to Shiloh. Malaki rin siguro yung, hindi ko lang kasi makita yung reference. How long, no? Sabi nga ng isang pastor when we go into the church, no? That hindi problema yung layo loob ng church. Ang problema yung puso eh. Kahit 50 kilometers yung layo mo sa bahay mo sa church, pupunta ka din eh. Because there's no problem, if there's no problem with your heart. But if there's a problem with your heart, hindi ka talaga pupunta niya kahit dito nga lang yan. Dito lang, if there's a problem with your heart. No? So ganun din kung isa, no? So ganun din may kaya din Hannah. He's a very model to his son. No? He bring his son to the church, to the tabernacle to serve, to serve the Lord. No? So we can see also the story of Samuel, how he served the Lord. No? Una-una, number one, extra. Number one, notes para bigay din. Number one, no? Number one, you can see in 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. Medyo maaga pa tayo. No? Sabi ko kay Brother Joel, kailangan paabutin mo ng 8:30. Nakatala na ako. Alam, 8:19 eh. Pero okay lang. No? So, maaga pa ako lang. At least, baka mahaba-haba ito eh. So anyway, in point number one, makita natin yung journey to Shiloh. The story nga natin, the character natin with Samuel. No? Number one is the calling of Samuel. Yeah. The calling of Samuel. How God called Samuel. No? So, after God provided a son for Hannah and her husband, Hannah gave Samuel to the Lord. From an early age, Samuel grew up in the tabernacle in Shiloh. So I checked some reference kung ilang taon. They said, kasi yung nag-stop siya nag-win. Tapos ang dumede. After the win, yun siya din. So we have to, winning. 1 year?
Lukas.
3 years ago. Sa tradition ng mga Jew, I think it's ng mga Israelite is 3 years. 3 years. 3 years yata. Yun ang ano nila, yun ang tradition nila, customary tradition. Sabi niya pala, but at least he's a child when Hannah bring Samuel to the tabernacle. No? So he grew up in the tabernacle in Shiloh. No? In 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 1 to 4, makita natin story ito. Let me read po yun. And the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision, and it came to pass at the time when Eli was laid down in this place, and his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see. So matanda na rin, Eli was very old at this time. And here the Lamb of God went on the temple of the Lord, where the ark of God was Samuel, and Samuel was laid down to sleep. The Lord called, and he called Samuel, and he answered, "Here I am." So here I am. So letter A na makikita natin dito is called of the hearing of Samuel. No? Hearing of Samuel, how he heard the word. No? He heard the Lord. No? Samuel was lying down to sleep. He heard the voice of the Lord calling out to him. So we know the story. No? Remember that when Samuel was in the tabernacle, no? He was sleeping, tulog siya. No? The Lord called him many times. Right? Many times, no? Tatandaan din, also we reminded sabi nga rito sa verse 1, and the word of the Lord was present in this day. There was no open vision. There is no open vision. Walang masyadong kausap ng Panginoon, no? Hindi masyadong nakikipag-usap, no open vision. So Samuel was very, meron tumatawag sa kanya, somebody's calling. How many times? Almost 4 times. In the last time is, sinabi ni Eli, sabi sa, therefore Eli said unto Samuel, go lie down, it shall be. If he call, then thou shalt say, speak, Lord, for thy servant here. So just in case na marinig mo ulit, just in case, sabihin mo sa kanya, speak, Lord, for thy servant heareth, no? Up to this point, no? In Samuel's life, he did not know the Lord. No? Sa time nito, hindi pa niya kilala ang Panginoon, he was still young, no? Hanggang sinabi lang sa kanya ni Eli, ang Panginoon ang nagsasalita, kumakausap sa iyo, no? Nor had the Lord revealed His word to him. This is why Samuel did not discern between the Lord talking to him and Eli calling for him. So that is the reason why Samuel did not discern the calling of the Lord, no? Kasi hindi pa niya alam yung mga word of the Lord. And the same also with us, no? The same also with us. A lot of people doesn't know about the Lord Jesus Christ, right? Unless we tell them, right? Ganoon din isang yung marami sa atin dito. Even when I was a child, I always heard my mother teaching about the Lord Jesus Christ. Talaga naiintindihan, narinig ko na yan, that you had to accept the Lord Jesus. Pero hindi pa rin naiintindihan eh. Paano ka makapunta na lang? My mother always, when I was a child, lagi sinasabi yun, lagi sinasabi. That's why siguro this time, when the pastor preached to me when I was 11 years old, naiintindihan ko na, that's it. That is the time when I accepted the Lord Jesus Christ on May 11, 1989. You know? But I was very child, bata pa ako doon. So, but my mother always speaking about it, the salvation of the Lord Jesus Christ. So ganoon din sa atin, no? Sabi nga ng Romans chapter 10, verse 14, so then faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So it is very important that we tell about the Lord Jesus Christ, about God, so that they will discern who is God, right? Right? Ganoon yan eh, no? So the same also with Samuel life, no? Kung di if Eli doesn't tell about that the Lord's calling him, he will never know na ang Panginoon tumatawag sa kanya, no? Because he doesn't have yet heard the word of God, no? And in 1 Samuel chapter 3, gives record to Samuel as he was approached by God, no? Sabi dito, so 1 Samuel chapter 3 verse 10, and the Lord came and stood and called as other time, Samuel, Samuel, then Samuel answered, speak for thy servant heart. The Lord stood, no? The meaning, the Lord stood, he stationed himself where Samuel could not only hear but could also see who was talking. The Lord could out Samuel as before, saying, Samuel, Samuel. So dito makita that the Lord stood to him. No? Hindi lang narinig niya, hindi talagang napakita sa kanya, napakita po, ang Panginoon talaga ang kumakausap sa atin. No? Meron isang illustration dito. No? This is a short illustration. Sabi nga nun, there was a man who was caught in a flash flood. No? Meron flash flood nangyari. Was stranded on the top of his house. He prayed, asked the Lord to get him to safety. Just then, a man in a boat came by offered to free him from his roof. So there is a tragedy. No? In the Philippines, there is may baha, flood. So may baha. Nasa bubong ng baha. And then this guy is praying that the Lord give him safety. No? I-rescue din siya ng Panginoon. And just then, the man boat came and offered to him a free him from his roof. So there's a boat, they rescue siya. And the problem is, sabi niya doon, no, I'm waiting for the Lord to rescue him. So hinihintay niya ang Panginoon to rescue him. Kasi yun ang prayer niya. Yun ang sabi niya. A little while, a little helicopter came by and again, the man refused to be rescued. Again, the helicopter come, offer help to him to rescue. No? Ando na siya. So, pretty soon, the water overcome and he drowned. So, namatay. Nalunod siya. So, natabunan na siya ng tubig sa bahay niya. Namatay siya. Ngayon, napunta siya sa langit. When he got to heaven, he said to the Lord, I asked you to... When he got to heaven, he said to the Lord, I asked you to rescue me, and you didn't come for me. The Lord said, I sent boat and helicopter for you. So, yun ang pala answer na sa kanya, no? Nagpadala na pala, the Lord already sent a boat and rescue. So, what's the point of the story, no? Sometimes people, sometimes why does God doesn't speak to me, no? Sometimes, you know, when there are times in our life, God doesn't speak to us. No? But the problem is, God is willing to speak to us talaga, no? He's willing to speak to us. But the problem is that we are occupied with other things sa buhay natin. God is willing to speak to us, no? That's why the same also with Eli. God is wanted to speak to Samuel, no? To give something, no? But we often become so occupied that we do not hear when God is trying to get our attention. Now, may we seek to be in a position to hear the voice of the Lord when we speak to us, no? So dapat nang ganoon din, no? We seek the position na we seek that how the Lord speak to us, no? We strive to seek to hear the Lord God and obey His commandment, no? So ganoon din sa isang manner para we try to seek, no? Especially when we read our Bible every morning, no? Kailangan talaga ganoon because that's the beginning na we put our new man, no? Sa umaga. Kaya mahalaga yun natin, yung mga Bible reading, no? Sabi nga ni Paul, I die every day. You know, yung old man natin kasi ito eh. So every morning, we put a new man sa sarili natin. So we seek the Lord always, no, by His word, no. And always, sometimes the Lord always nakikipag-communicate sa atin in many ways, right? Especially if we do something wrong, no. He communicate on us, no. Number 2, na makikita natin the calling of Samuel is letter B, is the holiness of God. The holiness of God. Sabi ni D.L. Moody sabi niya, a holy life will make the deepest impression. Lighthouse blow no horn, they just shine. So maganda yun, no? Yung mga lighthouse, no? They have no horns, but they just shine, no? So, di ba makakita na kayo mga lighthouse? Ilaw lang yun, no? So, pag sa SBMA may lang mga lighthouse, no? Kaya no, lighthouse sa SBMA, ano yung hotel yun? Alam mo, nasa hotel kayo. So makikita mo daw, pag just in case ng rescue, no? Meron kang pupuntahan na ito yung land, no? So let us see the holiness of God. Dito makikita natin yung the calling of Samuel, no? The holiness of God. He understand the holiness of God, no? Let's look at this one, no? Sa Samuel, sa verse chapter 12 to 14, no? 3 Samuel, no? Eli was the same high priest who had blessed Elkanah and Hannah when she prayed for a son. Okay, he served God many years, but allowed his son to bring wickedness into the house of the Lord. So we can see here that yung mga anak ni Eli, no, mga anak ni Eli, done a wicked thing, no. Dito sa ibang verses, no, sa Samuel, 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 22. No, makikita natin doon, sabi nga, yung mga ginagawa ng mga anak, they lay with the woman that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. No? They lay, no? Grabe. It's, the Bible also speak, they are vile. No? Vile. Kasi naghahanap ng vile. Naghahanap ako ng tamang meaning ng vile. Parang hindi ko mapaliwanag. Ang nakuha ko lang na word doon, pag minix mo, is evil. So very vile, no? Very evil like that, no? Sabi nga rito, no? Ganun ang ginagawa nila, they lie with the woman assembled in the congregation. No. Sabi, so, he served God many years, but allowed his sons to bring wickedness in the house of the Lord. So, Eli know the wickedness of his sons. No? Alam niya, kaya ayaw na Panginoon kay Eli at the time. He was aware of their sin, but did not stop. The iniquity of Eli's son intensified daily. Eli chose to ignore their sins, allowing them to display in the tabernacle, and God condemned him for this. He made a pronouncement against Eli to Samuel. No? Sabi nga rito, no, sa 1 Samuel chapter 3 verse 12 to 14, let me read to you. No? Sabi nga, verse 13 na lang, for I have told him that I will judge his house forever for the iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And therefore I was sworn unto the house of Eli that iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offering forever. Sabi, not only did God make a proclamation against Eli, He also stated His purpose for Samuel. Samuel has been faithful, therefore God called on him to serve Him. His life has been clean, making him a vessel fit to be used of the Lord. No? So makikita natin rito that God called Samuel also to serve because he is very clean, he is clean, and make a good vessel to fit for the service of the Lord. So why God you see Samuel, nakita niyo yung kabanalan, he understand the holiness of God in serving the Lord, no? Especially in us, no? When we serve the Lord, we should also consider His holiness, no? The Lord is holy, no? No, may mga bagay tayo na maintindihan. We should be, in order to be useful to the Lord, we should be we should be a good and clean vessel for Him, no? That's why the 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 20-22, this is correct, no? But in great house there are only vessels of gold and of silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor and some to dishonor. Verse 21, if a man therefore purge himself from this, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good works. No? Sabi nga doon, if a man therefore purge himself from this. No? So sometimes if we can understand the holiness of God in serving the Lord, no? Sometimes mayroon mga bagay na unwanted sa mga sarili natin, right? Mayroon mga bagay na maharang in order to serve the Lord. The Bible said we should purge them. We should tanggalin mga unnecessary things sa buhay natin. No? It might be yung mga activities natin, maybe TV, no? Maybe may mga binabasa rin natin. No? Maybe sometimes yung mga ugali din natin. No? Sometimes that will become that's why sometimes God can use us effectively, no, because of these things, no. No, sometimes I thank the Lord in few months. Gumawa ako ng mga plan, what to do every day. From 4:30 hanggang pauwi ako ng mga tulog. The goal was to wake up at 4:30, read the Bible, then do some activities in the morning. At the end of the day, kailangan maximum 10:30 tulog na ako. Tulog na ako ng maximum 10:30. Tulog na ako doon. No? Pag tinitignan ko yung, when I was trying to check my schedule, wala akong nakita nung manood ako ng TV. Na-notice ko, paano nanonood ako ng TV? Ito, nanonood ako ng TV kahit balita eh. That's my favorite, saka basketball. So sometimes, and then I tell to myself, good pa rin ganito, no? You have a plan like this, and then so sometimes maybe in my Bible reading, I miss a lot of chapters na rin. Na-delay na rin ako, maybe some of that in the television or something na may pinapanood ko. It's not good for me to watch, no? This movie to watch. No? So we have to pursue in order to become very effective in the ministry of the Lord. Because we should understand the holiness of God. Even Samuel know the holiness of God, no? He know the holiness of God, no? Samuel was given to God when he was a child. His parents dedicated to him to serve God all the day of his life. He accepted this commitment and led a pure life, a life that was free from sin and worldliness. He kept his heart, mind, and body pure. He was clean. He was a clean vessel available to be used by God at any time, no? So ganun din tayo, no? So as Samuel served in the tabernacle, he undoubtedly had many jobs. And one of his was to minister to Eli. The priest was getting older and needed help and attention. So Eli's own son had not been restrained from their sin, causing their wickedness to pollute the tabernacle worship. But however, Samuel was faithful serving was not infected by wicked behavior of Eli's son. So ganun din nakita sa kanya. Even though yung mga sons of Eli, minsan ni Eli, they do wicked things. But Samuel, because he have a goal to serve the Lord, and God knows He is holy, he never be affected with the things na ginagawa ng mga anak ni Eli. No? So makikita natin dito yung when God called Eli, no? Nakita natin the hearing of Eli, and then he understand the holiness of God. Okay? Ay, may question ba? Yung magtatagalan ako dun. Number 2 tayo, number 2. Okay? Number 2. Number 2 will be the cleansing of the people. The cleansing of the people. Isa sa mga nagawa pa ni Samuel. First Samuel, second Samuel. So Samuel. The cleansing of the people was one of the first great act as a leader after the death of Eli. No? So malaki na si Samuel. In 1 Samuel chapter 7 verse 2 to 3, no, letter A, tingnan natin dito how Samuel had to cleanse the people, no? In first letter A, conditional covenant. Yeah. Letter A is a conditional covenant. No. Samuel chapter 2 verse 2 to 3, and it came to pass while the ark abode in Kirjath Jearim, and the time was long, for it was 20 years, and all the house of Israel lamented after the Lord. And Samuel spake unto the house of Israel, saying, if you do return unto the Lord with all your hearts, then put away the strange god and Astaroth from among you, and prepare your heart unto the Lord, and serve Him only, and He will deliver you out of the hand of the Palestine. No? So Samuel told the people of Israel that if they would cleanse themselves, so they have a problem here, no? The Ark of Covenant was with the Palestine at Kirja Jearim. No? Ganun naman nangyari sa mga mga Israelites. No? If they disobey the Lord, God punishing, they send another nation to punish them. No? Ganun ginagawa ng Panginoon to the children of Israel. No? So at this time, the children of Israel lamented, no, because the Ark of Covenant was not with them. So Samuel told the people of Israel that they would cleanse themselves, God would heal their land. This covenant centered around the removal of Israel's sin of idolatry they had been worshipping the pagan god and goddesses, Astaroth, being one of them. So we can see here that Samuel have makita dito yung covenant, they have three conditions, no? Three conditions dito yung covenant na to, no? Unang condition is Israel must return to the Lord with all their hearts, no? Kailangan bumalik sila sa Panginoon, they must be truly returned to the Lord. Pangalawa, makita sa verse na yun, they must put away the strange god, no? Si Ashtaroth. May mo na narinig ito, Ashtaroth. Ashtaroth. Yan. Lagi mo narinig yung word na yan. No? Ano pala yan, pagan god, no? Lagi mo narinig yan. They must prepare their hearts unto the Lord and serve Him only, no? So, Israel mourning brought them to the point of compassion and repentance for their sins. So sabi ni Samuel, in order to heal your land, dapat gawin mo yung covenant na to, no? So letter B also, on cleansing the people, we can see here also that a call for help. Yan. Paano natin ito, ma-join natin number 1 sa application to. A join for help. In 1 Samuel chapter 8 to 10, and the children of Israel said to Samuel, cease not cry unto the Lord our God for us, that He will save us out of the hand of the Philistines. And Samuel took a suckling lamb and offered it for a burnt offering holy unto the Lord. And Samuel cried unto the Lord for Israel, and the Lord heard him. As Samuel was offering up the burnt offering, the Philistine drew near to the battle against Israel. But the Lord thundered with a great thunder unto the day upon the Philistine, and discomfited them, and they were smitten from before Israel. So it is important to note that Samuel intervened for the people. They put away their sins before we ask for help. Before we ask for help. So makikita dito kanina, in the first letter A, sabi nila doon, a covenant for help, a conditional covenant. So sometimes, before when we ask help for the Lord, we should also what? We confess our sin to the Lord. Right? Kasi sabi nga doon sa Psalm 66 verse 18, if I regard iniquity in my heart, the Lord will not hear me. No? So dito rin yun nangyari dito, no? In order God to answer their prayer, their help to the Lord, some will give a condition, no? A condition in order God will help them, no? Condition that then they will return to the Lord, right? And then they must put away the strange God, no? And they must prepare their hearts to serve the Lord, no? So nakikita natin that we must confess our sin as well. We cannot expect God to work on our behalf when we have ignored Him and allow Him to come into our lives. So I remember merong isang lalaki. I remember one guy. He was very devastated in his life. And then he go to his pastor. Sabi niya, Pastor, can you help me? I already destroyed my life. Yung gusto ng guidelines, sabi ng Pastor, sila ano pala buhay mo, naglalapit ka sa akin. Sinira mo na. So, what we do is, you go to the Lord first. You confess your sins to the Lord, and you go to Him. So, the same also sometimes in our life, yung ganun lang. We repent to the Lord, we talk to the Lord regarding our sins. If we need help to the Lord, we want to reconstruct, we go first to the Lord, repent our sins. God will always answer us, sabi nga ni kanina. No? God is willing to listen to us. No? We repent our sins, and then God will give us a rescue. Re-rescue tayo ng Panginoon. No? Re-rescue tayo ng Panginoon. The same also what happened to the Israelite. No? Talagang when God rescued the Israel, no? Halos wala naman silang ginawa. No? God only sent thunder. No? Kinidlatan lang niya yung mga Philistines. Tapos na. So the same also with our life. No? We should be also, if we want to ask God's help, we check ourselves first. No? Ano ba mga kasalanan natin? What's something wrong with us? then we talk to the Lord, and then we confess. No? Sometimes it's good that we go to our brethren also, but we should first also go first to the Lord, right? We should go to the Lord and then confess our sin, then we go to the brethren. Kung sabi nga, kung you go to the, kung hindi ka na advice, binabasa ko sa Christian Living Room, if you go to advice, seeking for best, you go to the people who are winning soul. And the Bible says, the fruit of the righteous is the tree of life. And he that wins soul is wise. Yan. Kaya kung hindi ka na-advise sa mga soul winner daw, yan. You go to the soul because they are wise. No? You go to them. No? The same also with our life. No? So we can see here that some will intervene. No? Some will intervene in order to cleanse the people. No? So in order to God talked to Samuel itong mga conditions. So panagawa, if you do this one, then I will have this, I will help the people. No? So we can see that the cleanse of the people. And then lastly, number 3. Ayan, number 3 na tayo. Alam ko namumutla na kayo. Hanggang 3 lang tayo. Understand? Namumutla na tayo yan. Alam ko namumutla na kayo. Kaya so, we go to number 3. Ayan. Number 3. Ayan, mago pa. Okay. The concern of Samuel. Concern of Samuel. Ayan. Okay, as the time went on, the people of Israel demanded a king, so they could be like the other nation. This demand was cause for a great concern in the heart of Israel. So, in 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 19 to 20, no, this is a time na unang concern ni Samuel is that the nation of Israel wanted to have a king. No? Wanted to have a king. In 1 Samuel chapter 8, 19 to 20, nevertheless, the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, "Nay, but we will have a king over us, that we also may be like all the nations, and that our king may judge us, and go out before us, and fight our battle." So remember that God's disciple, the children of Israel, yung Panginoon ang mamumuno sa kanila. God is always their king. But the nation of Israel wanted to have a new king. Nainggit yata sa ibang bansa. No? So ibang bansa. Sabi nga rin sa verse, nevertheless the people refused to obey the voice of Samuel, and they said, "Nay, we will have a king over us." Because someone already explained that they have only one king, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. Which is the Lord, sorry. Which is the Lord, no? In letter A, may ginagawa, the people refused the hand of the Lord, no? Refused the hand of the Lord. Sabi nga rito verse 19 kanina. Okay? Look at this one. Tingnan mo yung concern ng Samuel sa mga Israel regarding dito. Sabi niya, sa 1 Samuel chapter 12, verse 8 to 9, no? Tingnan mo. When Jacob was come into the Egypt, and your fathers cried unto the Lord, no? Then the Lord sent Moses and Aaron, which brought forth your fathers out of Egypt, and made dwell in the place. And when they forgot the Lord their God, He sold them into the hand of Sisera, captain of the host of Hazor, into the hand of the Philistine, into the hand of the king Moab, and they fought against them. So makita niyo, you can see here that Samuel reminded the people, no, what God do to them, no, what God did to them, no, because the children of Israel wanted a new king, that they didn't want to listen to the voice of the Lord, no. So makita natin dito, but Samuel reminded what God did to them, no. The children of Israel forgot God and the mighty acts He had performed on their behalf. Samuel reminded that the people that God was the one who sent their human leaders such as Moses and Aaron to lead them through the wilderness. He reminded the people that God was the source of their deliverance from their enemy. So when the children of Israel refused the hand of the Lord, no, Samuel reminded them what God did to them. No? So ganun din naman sa atin, no? Sometimes when we have trouble in life, we should also consider what God did to us. I remember our pastor preaching about remember your salvation. Nung may sa Pilipinas na may pastor there, he preached about remember your salvation. Before you go into backslide in your life, sabi niya, remember what God did to you. Remember what is your life before you are unsaved. No? Before you are unsaved. Remember that one. Remember what the grace God gave to you. Remember your salvation. Before you quitting serving the Lord, remember what God did to you. Who are you before? No? Sabi nga sa Pilipinas, minalig na ako, sabi niya, babalik ka pa ba dati sa dati mong ginagawa? Nung dati, nagiginom mo kayo, isang baso lang ginagamit nyo. 20 kayo nagiginom mo, isang baso. Okay, nung babalik ka pa ba noon? Tapos, pagkakain ko yung pulutan, isang kutsara na binagamit yun. Babalik ka pa ba noon? Remember your salvation. This is also the same what Samuel is concerned to the people. Remember when they refused to obey the Lord, remember what God did to you. God saved them He gave example to the people of Israel. No? Yung mga leaders na nag-save them. And the same also with us. No, before we refuse to God help us, we should consider what God did to us. No? Even saving, even salvation that God gave is a very precious gift that we can have. We may have no treasure in life in this world, but if we have salvation, we surely go to heaven. That's a very privilege that we have to the Lord, no? Amen? So Samuel also reminded Israel that when they were right with God, a judge was sent to him with their problems, and there was peace. But when Israel forgot the Lord their God, sent the nation around them, no? Discomfort them until they repented and came back to him. Yet the people refused the hand of the Lord in their lives, no? That's the sad story about the Israel. No? Even Samuel gave the instruction, but still the people refused to obey the voice of the Lord. So ganun din. So makikita nila ito. We remember what God did to us, no? So letter B. This is the letter B. Saul replaced the order of the Lord. Yan. So medyo skip na tayo doon. Then pinagbigyan sila ng hari, no? Pinagbigyan sila. And the first king was Saul. So pinagbigyan sila. But there's a problem also with Saul, no? Saul replaced the order of the Lord. No? Replaced the order of the Lord. And in 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 8 to 12, sabi gano'n, and he tarried 7 days according to the set time that Samuel had appointed. But Samuel came not to the Gilgal, and the people were scattered from him. And Saul bring thither and burnt offering to me, and peace offering, and he offered the burnt offering. Verse 11, and Samuel said, what hast done? And Saul said, because I saw the people was scattered from me, and thou dost come within the days appointed. And the Philistines gathered themselves together at Michmash. Therefore said, the Philistines will come down now upon Gilgal, and had not made supplication unto the Lord. I forced myself therefore, and offered a burnt offering. So makikita natin dito, what is the sin of Samuel here? Disobedience, right? Saul. Disobedience. Supposed to be the order was they should wait for someone to do the offering, right? But nainip. No? King Saul had impatience. No? So first he lacked trust in God's instruction through Samuel and did not wait as he was instructed. This has been the problem from the start. He did not obey. Saul ignored the word of God and he trusted his senses rather than God's command. Then he chose us to serve the priesthood by offering a sacrifice. Saul replaced the order of the Lord by taking Samuel's place and performing priesthood. He took lightly the order which God had established the sacrifices. So we can learn about this one, no? That God has an order and method of doing His work. No? Meron siyang order, no? In doing His work, no? Hindi yung basta-basta na lang tayo na gagawa, no? Just like even in the church, we are not patterned to the other church. We are patterned to the church of the Acts. Isa Acts, no? Kung yung ginagawa na Acts, hindi tayo dapat ganun din tayo sa kabilang church kasi yun ang ginagawa. No, our church activity are patterned also to the church in the Acts, right? Yun ang pattern natin Church of Acts, no? So ganun din yun, no? But we are inspired and challenged. Pag nakakita tayong successful na churches, but we should be inspired and challenged how they do this one, no? No? I'm sure that they also base what the Bible said, no? So this also here, God has an order and method of doing His work. If this were not so, then it would not matter how man got saved as long as he was sincere about it. No? Dapat mayroong order. No? Kung if there's no order, pwede mo siguro maligtas kahit paano. No? Tanggapin mo lang. In any way, pwede ka nang maligtas if there was no order and method. No? In order to save. No? So, yeah, often people try to replace God's way in their own way of salvation, right? No, they become religious but miss the truth. No? Remember when, if you have friends or sometimes meron dito dating mga Catholic, no? Ano yung mga ino-offer nila para maging religious ka? Rosario, yeah. Yung rosary, ano pa, yung you go sa, ano yung mga ino-offer, mga nobena, meron pa ano, yung pabasa sila, pero kinakanta naman. May pabasa pero kinakanta. You know? They all become religious and then that's the way how they do salvation. So, the same also what, remember, even Cain wanted to offer the fruits of his labor that was required by the Lord. No? So, ganoon din po yun, no? Natama ko sa pabasa. Basa pero kinakanta. So, makikita natin, God has also an order, no? The order to do this. Meron siyang order, no? So, may we determine to learn from the mistake of Saul and choose to follow God's order and methods in every aspect of our lives. So, Samuel rebuked Saul for replacing God's order. That's the good thing what Samuel do to Saul. He rebuked na mali yung ginagawa mo. No? That we should follow the order and method. No? May mga order and method tayo na dapat. So even in the church, there should be an order and method na dapat. Amen? So sabi nga doon sa Proverbs chapter 14, verse 12, there is a way which seem right unto a man, but the end therefore are the ways of death. No? So, yan. So, and as a conclusion, no? Sabi rito, no? Yung nating kanina nabanggit ko yung lighthouse, sabi, lighthouse are often built in desolate, out of the way. They serve their purpose with consistency and diligence. A lighthouse is designed to withstand the worst storm and still keep shining. No? Sabi nga yung lighthouse, no? Naka-design yun, diba? Sa dagat yun, di ba? Malapit sa dagat. So, nandun yun, naka-stand pa rin yung kahit anong, any storm, no? Any storm na mangyari doon, that thing still shine, no? Umiilaw pa rin yun, no? Kahit anong bagyo ang dumating, hindi nagigiba yun, eh. Yung light na still light is shining, no? So makikita natin, so the same also with our life, no? This also with our life. Throughout our journey of faith, God prepare us to be a lighthouse in the world darkened by wicked sin. Each trial and test bring us closer to God, making our light shine brighter for Him. No? So ganun din po tayo, no? The more na dumating in trials in our life, the more na meron tayong mga testing and persecution, we should become closer to God, no? Na tayo mapalapit sa Same also with same Samuel, no? Remember, he was child, no? Yung environment niya, Eli's sons, right? They are vile. Pero hindi siya nagpa-apekto, but he still keeps shining, no? Hindi siya no? In the same also with our Christian life today, no? Our world, no? Maraming nang hindi mo maintindihan ngayon. So we already we have a dark world today, but God ordered us to be shining for those people who wanted to be saved. Let's continue to become a God's servant pa rin, no? No, kahit itong mundo na ito is still a wicked, hindi tayo, we should not be affected what they did, no? What they are doing now. No? We should be different from other people. And the same also with Samuel, makita natin kanina, he was even, nung he was a very kid, nung bata pa lang siya, he was never been affected, no? With the wickedness of Eli's daughter and then Eli's sons, no? So, dito natin makikita yung kagandaan nila when he was serving the Lord. Sana ganoon din tayo, no? In this world, we should be also a good example, no? We should be different.